You know, a cup of coffee isn't really just a drink. For millions of us, it's a ritual, it's a community, it's that third place between home and work. And this global shift, it wasn't some happy accident. It was a strategy, a meticulously designed plan to take one of the world's oldest commodities and sell it not as a product, but as a feeling. Today, we're going to deconstruct the blueprint that turned a simple bean into a cultural phenomenon, the Schultz Strategy.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. It all starts with a single, transformative moment on the streets of Milan. From there, we'll follow that spark through a fierce battle for belief, unpack the core philosophy that was forged in that fire, and then, and this is the key part, we'll look at the intricate system that brought that whole vision to life. Finally, we'll witness its global transformation and uncover the surprising truth about what was really being sold all along.
And it all begins in Italy, with one single moment. A business trip that wasn't just about sourcing coffee beans. It would actually end up changing the entire course of modern retail forever.
The year is 1983. Howard Schultz, the director of retail operations for a small Seattle coffee bean retailer called Starbucks, is on a business trip to Milan. Now, to really get the impact of this moment, you have to picture what coffee was like in America back then. It was just a commodity. It was cheap, fast, functional. You know, the stuff in styrofoam cups, from bitter office percolators, or those greasy spoon diners where the pot's been on the burner for hours. It was just fuel to get you through the day. That's it. But what Schultz found on the streets of Milan, well, it was something else entirely. It was a complete revelation.
I mean, the contrast was just jarring. In America, coffee was all about efficiency. Get in, get caffeinated, get out. But in Italy, Schultz saw that coffee was a ritual. He saw these espresso bars just buzzing with conversation, with warmth, with real human connection. In the barista, they weren't just a server, they were like the conductor of this daily social orchestra. They knew people's names, they remembered their orders, they were a part of the community. It wasn't a transaction, it was an interaction.
And that's it. That's the light bulb moment. He realizes the real product isn't the coffee in the cup. It's the experience around the cup. It's the theater, the social part, the community, that sense of place. He saw this incredible potential to create a third place in America, a comfortable, welcoming spot that wasn't the pressure of home and it wasn't the demands of work. It was just a place where people could connect, gather, and feel like they belonged.
Okay, so you have this amazing, revolutionary idea, right? But turning it into reality, that's a whole different story. When Schultz brought this vision back home to Seattle, he had a wall of immediate and intense resistance. This was his battle for belief.
And to really get why he was so relentless, you have to understand where he came from. He grew up in poverty in the Brooklyn projects. He saw his own father, a blue-collar worker, get injured on the job and then just get cast aside. No health care, no severance, no dignity. That experience lit a fire in him, a deep personal mission to treat employees with the respect his father never got. But first, he had to face this massive professional hurdle, corporate skepticism. When he passionately pitched his vision of these Italian-style cafes to the original Starbucks founders, they flat out rejected him. They were purists. They were in the business of selling coffee beans for people to brew at home, not creating social hubs. They just didn't see it. So what does he do? With his conviction burning inside him, he leaves his job, risks everything, and starts his own cafe, Il Giornale, which is Italian for the daily. And this wasn't just a new business, it was his proof of concept. He was literally betting his entire future on the idea that he could replicate that Milanese experience, and that Americans were craving it, even if they didn't know it yet.
And it was right here, in the struggle of building Il Giornale from scratch, that he learned the core lesson of his entire strategy. To create a real feeling of warmth and community for your customers, you can't fake it. The promise you make on the outside has to match, ounce for ounce, the reality on the inside. The only way to deliver a genuinely caring customer experience is to have genuinely cared for employees.
So, that battle, it forged the philosophy. It turned a flash of insight into a concrete blueprint for building not just a company, but an actual movement.
At the absolute heart of the Schultz strategy is this one powerful idea. The coffee is just the excuse. The real product, the thing people are lining up for every single day, is human connection. It's just a delivery vehicle for community, for belonging, for a small moment of comfort in a crazy, busy world.
And he built this whole philosophy on 3 distinct pillars. First, the third place protocol. This was a rule that every single location had to feel like a consistent, welcoming space. Comfortable chairs, good lighting, the right music, so you knew you could find that same comfort anywhere. Second, the barista as curator mandate. This was his radical move.
He offered amazing benefits like healthcare and stock options even to part-time workers. This made sure baristas weren't just employees, they were passionate ambassadors. And third, the accessible luxury rule. Pricing it just right so it feels like a special treat, but an affordable one that could easily become a daily ritual.
Okay, a philosophy is great, but how do you actually do it? How do you make it repeatable? The next challenge was turning it into a set of routines and systems. This was the absolute key to scaling that intimate, personal feeling from one cafe to tens of thousands around the world. The whole operation basically ran on this dual engine, a two-pronged system. One part focused completely on the customer's experience, making sure that ritual was perfect every single time. The other part focused internally, on the employee, creating this incredible virtuous cycle of investment, dignity, and care. So for the customer, it was all about this ritual consistency and customization protocol. I mean, just think about the sounds and smells, the whir of the grinder, the hiss of the steam wand, that rich aroma of espresso. There's this precise, multi-step ceremony to it all, a real theater to the process. But at the exact same time, they pushed for maximum customization. Your name on the cup, your wild combination of milks and syrups. It created this powerful paradox, a universally consistent experience that felt like it was made just for you.
In that flawless customer ritual, it was powered by the employee dignity and partner investment loop. By giving out stock options and this is so important, calling employees partners, Schultz perfectly aligned the financial self-interest of every single barista with the company's success. When the company grew, their personal wealth grew. This turned what could be a transient job into a real investment, and it ensured they were motivated to deliver that amazing customer care that he had sworn to provide. A world away from the company that had just thrown his father aside.
So you put this dual system in place, and what happens? It doesn't just build a successful company. It fundamentally transforms two entire industries and creates a global empire.
And the growth was just astronomical. I mean, look at this. It starts with one little cafe in 1986. Just 1 year later, in this wild turn of events, Schultz buys the very company that had rejected his idea, Starbucks. By 1996, the first international store opens in Tokyo. And by the 2010s, we're talking complete global dominance. That is the power of a scalable system that's built on a deeply human emotional truth.
His first huge legacy was pioneering and basically institutionalizing what we now call experiential retail. He proved that people aren't just buying a product, they're buying a feeling. They will pay a premium not for the thing itself, but for the atmosphere, the story, and the emotional utility that comes with it. This idea has since changed everything, from how Apple designs its stores to the branding of boutique hotels.
Look at it this way. Traditional retail is just that first bar. The value comes straight from the product. But Schultz added that second, absolutely crucial component, the experience. And by doing that, he dramatically jacked up the total value for the customer, justifying that premium price and creating a level of fierce loyalty that commodity brands could only dream of.
His second legacy, and you could argue it's just as important, was proving that investing in your people is not a cost. It is the single best investment you can make. He made comprehensive employee benefits a cornerstone of brand strategy, showing a very skeptical corporate world that treating people with dignity is a powerful and really durable path to business dominance.
So, after the epiphany, the struggle, the philosophy, and the systems, what are we left with? What is the ultimate, universal lesson we can all take away from this incredible story?
It's this. Howard Schultz built a global empire on a simple but profound truth. The most successful products, the ones that build movements and last for generations, they don't just sell a thing, they sell a feeling, they sell belonging.
And his strategy gives us the blueprint. It shows us how to take a mundane, everyday activity, a simple routine, and romanticize it. You can elevate it into a meaningful ritual through an absolute, unwavering commitment to employee dignity and total consistency in the customer experience.
Ultimately, the lesson is crystal clear. Whether you're building a coffee shop, a software company, or a community, the core principle is the same. Don't just sell a product, sell an experience. Because emotional connection is the ultimate source of repeatable revenue.